It is now time for the 2024 year in review. Before I start, I just want to let you all know, I see a lot of people standing at the back. I'm going to say the same thing that my high school calculus teacher told me. This isn't church. You got to come up to the front and get a seat. So there's plenty of tables up front. So definitely invite you all to come take a seat here a little bit closer to me. All right. 2024 was another busy year in Wisconsin's clean energy saga. From the first wind application to go before the PSC in over a decade, to new electric vehicle charging legislation, to the largest approved solar plant in the upper Midwest, the industry saw projects and policies the state has never seen before. In 2024, 2 new utility-scale projects came online, Paris Solar Park and Grant County Solar. And with the PSC approving over 2 gigawatts of solar in 2022 and 2023, we expect more large-scale renewable energy projects to come online in the very near future. While no Wisconsin wind projects came online in 2024, we did see access to wind power increase for our state this year. The full completion of the Cardinal Hickory Creek transmission line from Iowa to Wisconsin unlocked over 120 renewable energy projects, including several wind installations to our west. And utilities weren't the only ones energizing projects last year. Several municipalities around the state made strides in their clean energy portfolios. The village of McFarland opened its new public safety center, the first net zero municipality building in the state. The public safety center contains 470 kilowatts of solar, EV charging, and 51 geothermal heating and cooling wells. Additional government projects include a major solar and storage installation in the city of Anago, a solar project in the town of Dunn, and an installation at the Mole Lake Fish Hatchery owned and operated by Sokagoan Chippewa community. Solar programming around the state also had another great year in 2024. Renew's own Madison programs will collectively add an additional 530 kilowatts of solar to the local grid. And other Group I's around the state will add an additional 100 solar projects and 700 kilowatts of behind-the-meter solar. The Solar for Good program awarded grants to 30 nonprofits last year, which will go on to add a collective 1,800 kilowatts of solar. 22 awardees finished projects last year, bringing Solar for Good's grand total capacity to over 250 projects and over 9 megawatts of behind-the-meter solar capacity. And Madison's workforce training initiative further strengthened our efforts last year as well. The program created a record turnout last year by partnering with MREA, Latino Academy of Workforce Development, and Madison College. Together, this program is building a better renewable energy workforce for Wisconsin. Once again, last year, there were more projects to mention. Thank you all who submitted photos and project descriptions to me over the last few weeks. From major installations at Charter Steel and Colby Windows to creative projects like you saw earlier with the Dane County Humane Society, we added more customer-owned renewables to the grid again last year. We'll be highlighting several of these significant projects coming up at lunch during our Clean Energy Honor Roll session. At the state capitol last year, we saw renewed opposition to large-scale renewables. 6 separate bills were introduced in that last session that sought to limit the siting of utility-scale wind and solar. Thankfully, the clean energy industry and our network of allies were able to fend off these proposals. 2024 also saw community solar move further in the legislature than we've seen it before. And while the bill did not pass, hearings took place in both the Assembly and the Senate, and our hope is that community solar will progress even further this session. But the big win at the state capitol last year was EV charging. This legislation adopted a uniform standard using a kilowatt-hour calculation to measure the electricity to charge EVs publicly. It also allowed public charging stations to be owned by private entities. This legislative change was required for Wisconsin to qualify for the $78 million in federal funding to build out EV charging infrastructure. On that front, Wisconsin's DOT has already awarded the first round of grants to build stations along our state's highways. 3 chargers are now online at Quick Trip locations, 33 more chargers are contracted, and a total of 53 charging stations are planned for round 1 of the Wisconsin Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Initiative, or WEVI. All of these projects are expected to be operational by 2026. Wisconsin was also awarded nearly $23 million in federal EPA funding to 24 school districts through the Clean School Bus Rebate Program. A total of 75 buses were funded, with Milwaukee and Beloit school districts each receiving 25 electric school buses. And as we'll see in a minute, in the rate case section, the PSC set a major precedent by reducing and streamlining cost savings for at-home EV charging. Now, as we move into the commission section, last year, at this point of the review, I told a hilarious joke referencing a Monty Python quote. I did this because my 10-year-old made that very same quote, in context, by the way. So I promised him, the proud dad moment, I promised him I would work it into my presentation last year. So this year, he also asked me to work in a quote from a movie, from his current favorite movie. Maybe not so proud of dad moment, because unfortunately, his favorite quote from this movie is one that I cannot say in public. Let's just say it involved all of the people on the spaceship having similar last names, if you know the movie. But I promised him I would work in a reference somewhere. And so this is going to be kind of a dad joke, but because the PSC was such a busy place for renewables once again last year, we did not need to comb the commission for things to be working on. In March, the commission relaunched an investigation into the benefits of net metering policies in Wisconsin. Several construction cases for both clean energy and fossil fuels were taken up in 2024. Utility rate cases were busy as usual. Renew participated in several multifamily clean energy waiver requests. And commission-led renewable energy and energy efficiency programs also advanced clean energy in new ways in 2024. It was another busy year, not just for clean energy, but also for the commission itself. 2 new commissioners came on last year, Christy Nieto and Marcus Hawkins, and Summer Strand moved into the chair role on the commission. On the programming front, Wisconsin became the first state to launch the HOMES rebate program. Administered by Focus on Energy, the program offers rebates from $1,500 to $10,000 for insulation, heating, and cooling upgrades. The state also launched the HERE program, which provides discounts on energy-efficient appliances like heat pumps, water heaters, and electric stoves for low and moderate income households. By making these upgrades more affordable, both programs support energy efficiency while boosting businesses across the state. And while rates went up once again for We Energies and WPS customers last year, we did see 2 favorable clean energy outcomes come from these rate cases. A positive change to allow bi-directional metering of rooftop solar systems, and a major modification to electric vehicle charging. The PSC set a precedent by adopting EV bill credits as an alternative to traditional time of use rates. This approach simplifies billing, removes the need for additional utility meters for submetering, and makes EV adoption more accessible. On the construction front, in November, the commission approved the Vista Sands Solar Project. At 1,300 megawatts of solar and 300 megawatts of battery storage, this will be by far the largest clean energy project in Wisconsin and one of the largest in the entire country. The PSC also took up 3 transmission project applications last year, which will continue on into this year. These lines will play out before the commission in 2025 and will be vital for moving clean energy electrons around the state. And finally, Renew and our network of partners are doing everything we can to block 2 methane gas plant applications, which were also proposed early last year. These projects would significantly reverse our momentum back in the favor of fossil fuels. And last but not least, Net metering remained a top issue for us at the PSC last year. In March, the Commission reopened a statewide investigation to direct the future of net metering. Commission staff issued a memo for comment and requested information and analysis on net metering issues, including how Wisconsin could approach a potential value of solar study. Renew, along with several other organizations, submitted comments to the PSC on how the Commission should approach such a study, as well as many other analytical aspects of net metering. Thanks to our network of partners, the Commission decided to wait until a Berkeley National Lab literature review was complete to decide what will be the next steps in the investigation. This decision shows that the PSC values a thorough, deliberative process in this investigation, and thankfully, is likely not interested in making immediate changes to net metering policy. Renew and our allies will continue to work on NEM issues at the Commission in 2025. The future of renewables this year in Wisconsin, I don't think this is a secret to anyone, is a little bit uncertain right now, but make no mistake, the industry is strong and will continue to make more progress this coming year. We expect to make headway on wind and solar projects, upgrade our grid infrastructure, and advance policies that support more distributed energy for our state, all of which will help Wisconsin speed towards a decarbonized future. Thank you so much for your support, and we really hope you enjoy the rest of today's programming.